For this video, we're doing soffit, fascia, and drip edge installation. If you want to see more of the videos in the playlist, there is a link to that playlist in the video description. The next step is to install the J channel here so that I can install the soffit underneath there. And I'm doing a simple design. I mean, you can do this so it's flat across here, it comes to, you know, here-ish. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do J channel up next to this, and I'll show you how I'm doing that. But it's pretty simple to install it. You put it on there, and yes, I'm cheating and I'm using drywall screws. I've seen how they install this underneath houses with tiny staples. I figure this is at least better than that. I've got drywall screws readily available and in abundance right now to me, so I'm using those. Just installing my J channel there. We'll install the soffit out here to this edge and then attach it there and go ahead and install the fascia and the drip edge and the roofing and all of that. I need to document just how much the weather does not want me to do this shed. It is raining now. But this is the idea of putting up this J channel. You leave this loose enough on here, right there. You leave this loose enough on there to be able to let it slide back and forth to adjust itself as it expands and contracts and whatever. But on the other side, I just cut this way so it could kind of fold and keep one continuous line there. And measured it down to the end of that one. But the weather right now says that I'm done. So I'm going to be done. Jeez. I think this is the theme of my shed, is rain storms. While I'm here, let's talk about this thing. Yes, I'm wanting to get a roof up on this thing. It's wet. It's getting wet on that side, and it does drip through on these gaps that I left there for expansion. So that's why I have the tarp down here, so I can catch most of it and then just dry it off with that towel so it doesn't soak up the floor. Protect the inside while I can. Hopefully the roof sheathing does okay. But here we are, hanging out in the shed to avoid the rain again. Alright, I'm not going to show you all the cutting and everything that I'm doing, but just so you can kind of get a vision of what I am making it look like in the end. So this is going all the way to the ridge and then bending over there, and then I put another piece down at the bottom, and then this little edge here, I've just got these two J channels backed up back to back against each other just to kind of tidy up that edge. And then here on this edge there, it's the same J channel. I'm just putting it there, just screwing it into each board there. You might use nails, and then same deal over here. Couple pieces back to back, just to tidy up, finish up that edge. And same story over there, all the way over there. I haven't finished the other side yet, but I will get to there. This stuff is pretty easy to cut. Where's my snips? Found them. This stuff is, I just got the vinyl kind. Pretty easy to work with and to cut. I mean, these are just some tin snips. You can just chop them like scissors. Pretty easy. Anyway, that's all I'm doing to chop up these ends. But I like that. And then I will put my soffit there. Okay, so if I hadn't already started and didn't already know the measurement, I would just take this in there to the end and say, hey, look, that's 9 1/4 inches. Which is how long I'm going to cut my piece. And then I say, where's my pencil? There's my pencil. Go to 9 1/4. This piece, like so, it's got 2 different ends. They fit together. You slide that on there, slide it to the back, and then you just take some screws or nails, but I have a whole bunch of drywall screws from my basement demolition, so that's what I'm using. Yeah, I'm just screwing it in and rinse and repeat all the way down. That is how I put together the first row of soffit. Over here on the end, I just had to trim off a little tiny bit on that end part that sticks out. Just trim that off and then it just tucked it in there and it fit nicely. Sure, that'll work after there's a few screws in it. That is how that turned out at the top. Just folded it, that's all. With this all trimmed cut now, that's how I cut it. So I trimmed this with the same pitch as the roof, so just have a nice vertical line there, and then put that down, trace that line, and then trimmed this little lip out here so that this could fold under there and this could line up more evenly. And then I'll have my fascia underneath that to finish sealing it off. All right, so I've nailed that drip edge on there, right there. I have not nailed this one on here yet. There is conflict out there. There is disagreement out there in the roofing world from people who seem very confident that their opinion is right, on both sides of the aisle, I guess. On when you are talking about the tar paper, it definitely goes over the top of that edge of the drip edge, right? But it's this side here. Does the tar paper go over the top here, or does it go underneath it and then the drip edge goes on top, right? To me it seems like it's a pretty similar scenario. The question is here is if the shingles get water underneath it here and the tar paper is underneath, the water could come out and go underneath it and then get into the wood underneath it there, versus the other way, like the water could still blow in and get underneath, right? So it seems like there's not really a strong case for one over the other, which I guess is why there's a conflict and a disagreement. So I'm going to fast forward to modern times and put in a little insertion here with an update. So first of all, terminology, I called it tar paper. You'll probably see roofing felt as the more modern word for that, the more modern material that it's used. And then terminology here. So this edge right here, this is called the rake edge versus the eave edge. This is the eaves, this is the rake. And so on the topic of which one goes on top, the drip edge or the roofing felt on that rake edge, codes are going to vary. So follow your local code on what you need to do for your area. I ended up putting mine on, I saw most people recommend putting the drip edge on top. So that's what I did at first. And then we had a windstorm and it blew it all off. Rather than taking off my drip edge and reinstalling it all together again, I just put it on top and then I sealed it up with some roofing tar underneath it. So not what I'd planned, but it's what I ended up doing. You follow the code for your area and you'll be good. As you go to connect another piece to an end here, make sure that the way that it overlaps so that the water rolling downhill will roll onto this and keep on going down, not the other way around where it would go into the crack. So I'm going to cut it along here and then cut this little lip right there so that this will bend around. So these are the two cuts that I made here and here. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Except I need this to go underneath there. That's the tricky part, doing it one-handed. There you go, like this. This goes under, this goes over, this folds. It's Saturday again. Today's project, I think, is going to be the fascia. This stuff. Then that'll be finally done. Choose a point up here and say this will be my tip of my roof, and then do my 7/12 angle from there down to here. This is the tip, this is the bottom. With this being the tip, I need to cut off an angle up here. Probably something like that. Again, this face, because this is the first one down, this will be visible. Here, from here over, this will not be visible, but this is going to be, I'm going to put a nail in there to nail this up, cover it up, and then the other piece will go on top of it with a nice vertical edge on the outside. Alright, so here's what that looks like as we're installing. That cutoff ledge goes here. Here's the bottom of the peak, if that makes sense. Then up there at the top. And that cutoff edge that we did is all hiding underneath the strip edge. This next piece of soffit that we're putting on will come up to here and we'll have the nice pretty vertical line right there going from that little purple mark to that vertical line there. So it all matches up. This goes under there, under the drip edge, but it can't actually go all the way under the drip edge right now because it is needing to fold around this thing, right? It can't go fold around. It can't go underneath this. It should be under that other little flap drip edge. Can't go under there and up this thing because it needs to bend around. So I need to cut this so that I can fold it. All right, time for the next piece. So generally, you avoid putting nails on the front of this fascia. This is my exception where just up here I need something to hold this in place. And so there's the nail going on there. That's all there is for this one. See you next time. Bye.